Tarte are at it again. They haven't learned and they're back on their bullshit. Oh, I can't say that in the beginning of the video. One thing that I think has changed a lot about marketing in the beauty world is shock value and rage baiting, right? People know that anger sells. Let's take, for example, my channel. If you look through any of my videos here on YouTube, you will see that a more negative approach when it's like, this is the worst something I've ever tried versus this is the best I've ever tried, actually gets more views than anything else. That's just the way it seems to work. And I talk a lot about advertising I like and don't like on this channel. That's just what I like to do. We spoke about MAC and their like boys, the whole sex sales. We spoke about Rare Beauty and their kind of clap back in my brain to that. I like really good, beautiful visuals in advertising. I just think it's like, it looks like there's been more effort put into it. It looks more artsy. Yeah, if you like my videos like this, and go ahead and follow me on Instagram or TikTok. I do random videos sometimes on my stories. You can get your phone out if you're watching on TV. Open the camera app and hold your phone up to the screen and go over whichever one you want to, and a link will come up. Click on that and follow me on any of those platforms. You know what I do hate in advertising though, when in beauty, right, is when brands make something all-inclusive. So let's say a brand extend their shade range in foundation and like, now we include everyone. And the pictures are always a group of people of all races wearing white t-shirts standing next to each other smiling. It's like, why can't we have a high value editorial that includes every skin tone, every type of person, you know what I mean? Like, why does it always have to be, we're inclusive now, so now we stand next to each other and smile? It can be interesting, I guess. It doesn't have to be editorial, but it can be more interesting than we're all wearing white tees and smiling because the shade range has extended. But there has been a huge rise in rage bait marketing. Now listen, I'm between two minds in it. I'm not 100% sure it's actually rage bait some of the time, rather than brands just messing up and being stupid and being like, oh, we didn't realize it's rage baity. So of course, that brings us to today's topic, one that you have all been asking me and questioning me and asking if I'm going to talk about it. Of course I'm going to talk about it. So Tarte have come out with this product, which is, yeah, let me show you. This is called the Snatch Stick. It's a contour pencil with a brush on the end, which in my mind is a little bit too dense. And to give them credit where credit's due, the shade range is actually very, very nice for a contour product. I think the shades actually look cold and cool, like an actual contour. They're not like, it's a bronzer, you know, a bronzer and a contour. It actually looks like a contour product, which is nice, except from this shade. What shade is this? That doesn't look like a contour product at all. They say get snatched in seconds for an instant facelift effect, no needles required. I think it's going to be more than needles required if you need a facelift. It's going to be knives and stretching your skin. It says upgrade your face card. No appointment necessary with this 2-in-1 contour and brush. Lightweight cream to powder finish blends effortlessly. Blendable brush designed to smooth, diffuse, and perfect your snatch with zero harsh light. Okay, is it only where I am in the UK where snatch also means vagina, or it's like a not nice word for vagina? To me, it's just like saying cock stick. You know, I am not a fan of Tarte at all. Like, I really don't like them as a brand. I just find the founder a bit like strange also. I don't think this product's terrible though. I can, you know, not like something and still be honest and truthful. I don't think this is terrible. I think it's a gimmicky kind of, yes, but gimmicky in a way that makes contouring a little bit easier for people. The brush may be useful only for those little lines that you're brushing in. I wouldn't use it around the forehead like they're showing in the video, because you have a tiny brush like this and you're buffing around forehead. It's gonna look weird. But yes, not a bad product if you're looking for an easy contour product. However, what people have an issue with really here is not the product itself, it's the advertising. Again, take a look at this.
Cosmetic surgeries and enhancement become so commonplace that it's almost assumed as though every woman wants them. This is a question that I've really been pondering since receiving, honestly, a fairly disturbing PR package. I will show you this package. I think you're going to be rather shocked by it. I am not going to name the brand. However, I just want to have a broader discussion on aging and beauty standards in America right now, because I think it is getting completely out of hand. So I was having a bit of an off self-esteem day, as I'm sure many women can relate to, and I received this PR package. I'm just going to show you part of it. Outside in the box had these scissors and blades and needles. That alone was already somewhat disturbing imagery, but then I opened it up. My heart sinks just talking about it, honestly. It was just really shocking to see. To a photo of myself taken from a screenshot from my Instagram. A photo that I thought that I looked pretty in. I was trying really hard to be confident this day. So they took this screenshot from my Instagram and they drew on it places that I could be more snatched using their product. However, as you can see, it's drawn on with a dotted line, and because there was blade and needle imagery on the packaging, it's insinuating that this is like where a surgeon would cut, where a surgeon could cut if they were gonna redo my face. Okay, the photo of me made it incredibly personal, and it also came, again, I'm not going to show this, with a list. You're just going to have to trust me on this. It says prescription treatment plan, upper bleph, rhinoplasty, jaw lift, Botox. So obviously I need all these surgeries, but guess what? Oh yay, I don't need the surgeries. I just need this brand's product. And it's going to replace all those surgeries that, of course, I need right here, right where they drew on the dotted line. Am I the only one that finds this disturbing? I had to ask myself, like, is this cute and cheeky and clever and I'm too sensitive? However, I showed it to my husband, my best friend, some of my other creator friends, and they all found it to be incredibly disturbing. I just want to make it about the broader conversation though. As a woman today, it is so hard to have this tunnel vision forward of being like, I know who I am. I know what I'm working on internally. I want to feel pretty for who I am as I am right now. Maybe I'm crying a little. But it is that serious. Like, it's that deep. It's almost as if loving who you are for the way that you are is like somewhat radical now. Everyone's expected to get all these treatments and surgeries. And it's like, I try to tell myself that I want to be more of like a French woman pretty. I know that surgeries and procedures are less common in other places. And I try to tell myself, like, I want my smile lines to show that I lived like a really happy life. And I want my freckles to show that I was in the sun. And I just try to like really romanticize these signs of aging. But a lot of the things around us don't make it easy. It feels like it's a battle every day. And as a creator, I just feel like I have to speak out on this. I feel as though it is that serious. It is an important conversation to have. Loving who you are, just the way you are, with the face that was your mom's face, that was your grandma's face, that was your great grandma's face. Like, that's beautiful. There's something really beautiful about that. And I post about perfume, which is like a huge confidence boosting thing for me. Keep it really light on here. However, I want it to be very clear that I'm not trying to participate in an unrealistic beauty standard. I don't believe in it. I never have. And I'm not saying that you can't get cosmetic surgeries or that it's wrong to get cosmetic surgeries. I'm just saying you don't have to. You don't have to. And I don't assume that you want them. And I personally am offended by anybody assuming that I want one, that I'm saving up for a rhinoplasty, that I'm saving up to get something redone, because it just feels like everybody is saving up to get something about them redone. Does it not? I just want to clear my chest about all of this. I hope this all makes sense. I hope I'm not coming across as too sensitive, but I did send a DM to this brand's founder. I'm wondering if I'll hear back. Anyway, I love you, Smellies. You're beautiful.
So that was a content creator, the Top Notes, over on TikTok. She has received a PR package from Tarte that has this new contour product in. As you open it up, there's a picture of her and all the suggested procedures that she could have, but she no longer needs because she has this Tarte sculpting product. Editing me here from a hotel. One thing I was thinking about when I was looking at these PR packages, I was like, did they customize it to each person? I was like, surely not. Surely they didn't do that. But then I did see this other person's PR package. And on her one, they've like lifted her cheeks under here. So I still don't know if it's customized to each person, or any pictures that were taken at an angle, they've done the same thing. And any pictures that were taken straight forward, they've done the same thing. If I saw that, I would be like, oh, perhaps you do think I do need a little bit of a facelift, depending on the age I am, depending on how big I think my nose is, you know what I mean? How tight I think my jawline looks. Yeah, that did come to mind. I was like, is it custom or is it, different, the same for everyone? A lot of brands do this personalization, their PR. I don't know if I've told you about the one I got from Urban Decay when it was like, Robert's had a tube job and it was for their tubing mascara. But I was like, are you saying I've had a vasectomy? And then I opened it, I was like, oh, it's a tubing mascara, okay. Let's have a little look at Tarte's branding for this. Botox without the needles is, okay, can we just say why that's wrong? People get Botox and fillers mixed up, right? So Botox is to smooth out fine lines. Contouring your face is not going to smooth out fine lines. So it would be more like filler or facelift. It's not Botox. Like, if I have wrinkles here, if I apply a contour here, it's not going to smooth out my wrinkles. It's so strange.
Dr. Snatch is coming to snatch you.
Wait, I said this? I'm ready for my 10-second nose job.
Dr. Snatch is coming to... I can't.
That's the options?
Yes.
Okay.
And then there's also this too. You can just do like the whole thing. Yeah. Start like on the forehead. Start by doing like a line up near the hairline area, the cheekbone area.
Because that's a really bad way... Sorry, factually, that's a really bad way to contour your forehead. That line. You're letting that product sit down and that tiny little line, at least zigzag it so you can buff it out and it covers a wider area, because that's going to leave a gap between your hairline anyway, even if you blend it up.
The eye up to the temple, that just creates like an eye lift. A little bit like above the lip, so I'll go right above the lip, below and the lower lip. See like what I'm doing?
I need to repeat this.
So that's how we have everything mapped out.
Okay, wow.
And then
So if you look at this contour area here, right, bear in mind that contour doesn't necessarily lift just because you've done a line. Just because you smudge out a line of contour doesn't mean that it's going to lift your eye like this. If she was to put it through the eye socket and then bring it up further here to create a new eye socket, then it would make the eye look lifted. But I don't know what that line is going to do. That's like where you would put liner. That doesn't lift the eye.
blending, I like to blend upward, like into the hairline. It's a cream to powder formula, so it makes it really easy.
But look, there's still a gap here.
I love that.
Is it?
We love that.
See how that hasn't lifted the eye, it's just pushed the temple back, which in comparison makes the cheekbone look bigger, which is nice, but she said it was an eye lift, and it's absolutely not, because it goes nowhere near the actual fucking eye. So for those who don't know, oftentimes brands will send people to people's houses. It's a very American thing to do these kind of like PR things, and they're often not very interesting. So there's mixed opinions on this. People are like, oh my god, it's so snatched, everything's so snatched. Other people are like, okay, I don't like this surgery aspect of the promotion, right? And when it comes to contouring, I just want to correct something. Contouring doesn't always mean you are trying to change the appearance of a part of your face. I posted a video about nose contouring. A lot of people are like, can't we just love our noses? I was like, yeah, you absolutely can. Contouring isn't always trying to change something in your face. It could be accentuating what you already have, defining something, or sometimes we just want to put some contour down the side of our nose because we've done so much in the outside here that this area can kind of look a little bit then out of sync. So you do a little bit of product down the side of a nose. That's it. It doesn't always mean you are desperate to have a nose job. You're desperate to have cheek implants. That's not what contour is always used for. However, in this campaign, it is kind of saying like, oh, that's what contouring is, what's going to completely change the way you look. It really depends who does it and where you do it and their bone structure, right? And oh, I also have to say something. A lot of people are like, you know, all press is good press. This is what they want. They want people to talk to them. But that's actually not true. A lot of things I have spoke about in this kind of genre of outrage, people are like, oh, I'm never using them again. People do make up their minds depending on news, and we have so much access to everything now. Not all press is good press. That was back in the day when people were unable to research, unable to dig a little bit further. But yeah, that's not a true statement. And I know that factually from people saying, oh, I'm never going to use this brand again when I express something. Okay. Let's take a look at this.
Wow, it has been a week. Thank you so much to everybody who supported, commented, validated me in what I shared. I was very nervous in recording and posting that video. I didn't know entirely what was going to happen, what the perception was going to be. And it was really validating to hear that I was not the only person who felt like what I received was disturbing and in poor taste. I have a lot of new eyes on my page now, and what I normally talk about is perfume. It is my biggest passion in life. However, my OG followers know I have been outspoken multiple times in the past about unrealistic beauty standards and not falling victim to predatory marketing strategies, specifically geared toward women. Here's an example of why. After I posted my video yesterday, one of my family members reached out who is a teacher, and she told me, what you posted is so important. The message is so important. I teach at an elementary school. Everybody, an elementary school. And she said, I see 10-year-old girls with fake eyelashes on refusing to eat their lunch. And like, that's it, you guys. That's the problem. That's why I'm speaking about it. I was tearing up in the video. It's not because I thought that the brand thinks I'm ugly, because honestly, I can handle that. I was honestly tearing up about where we've ended up. Like, how did we get here? This marketing is predatory. Makeup is supposed to empower women and enhance their natural features, not prey on their insecurities and mimic plastic surgery. Predatory marketing towards women's insecurities is nothing new. However, it really feels like it's gotten completely out of hand lately. And as we've further normalized plastic surgery, I've just heard so many women feel as though they need to change themselves. And a lot of times change things that they probably hadn't even thought about before. Like, new insecurities are being thrown at us all the time. Even the level of regular maintenance that women feel like they need to keep up with just to keep up with these standards is absolutely insane. You gotta have the hair, tan, lashes, nails, eyebrows, Botox, filler. Women feel like they need to keep up with all of it perfectly all the time. And I just want to let you know that you are allowed to breathe and just live and just enjoy your life. You don't have to be perfect. I'm not saying that I don't participate in those things. I always have my nails done. I love getting my hair done. It's so fun. But it's important to continue to check in with yourself about why you're doing the things that you're doing. Are you doing it because you enjoy it, or are you doing it because you feel like you have to? And are you putting yourself in financial jeopardy to keep up with what you feel like you need to do in order to be good enough and meet these societal beauty standards? That's my piece on that for now. I am not done talking about this, and I'm going to continue to share more thoughts about what I do to feel what I like to call a French woman pretty, or as many of you said in my comments, 90s pretty, which I think is so cute. Romanticizing aging and feeling beautiful the way that I am. But my page is and always has been 90% perfume.
Here's the deal with a lot of things I've seen after this is people made some videos that was like, I think it's stupid, it's just marketing, it's just this. The fact is, someone and some other people found it offensive. That's just a fact, right? If I did something offensive to people and I was like, I don't see the big deal, and people were like, no, it really offended me, I would feel sorry for doing so. I was like, oh, I'll be like, shit, I offended people. You know what I mean? The fact is, you cannot argue the fact that people were offended by it. It might not offend you, but it has offended some people. Again, I do find it difficult for a brand who have like a marketing team for this to be anything other than rage bait to some people. You know what I mean? Because it's very old-fashioned. My twin brother James said about this whole marketing thing, it was like an old school America's Next Top Model photo shoot where it's like, oh, we'll do surgery, and how controversial surgery is. It's very old-fashioned. That's one of my problems with it. It's like, it's just old school. It just feels a bit done, if that makes sense. It just feels a bit like, oh. Okay. Makeup is also not the same category as cosmetic surgery, right? Makeup can't do what cosmetic surgery does, no matter what anyone says. No matter what anyone says. People are like, how do I get my under eyes to look less hollow? You can't with makeup. You can brighten it. I can brighten it here, make it look lighter under this lighting. But when I go out to all the different lighting scenarios throughout the day, it's going to change. My hollows are going to stand out, or they're not going to. It's life. That's skin. That's just how skin is and should be. And I do think the world of makeup and beauty has kind of taught us that we need to correct those things. If you want to do it, then fine. And here's another thing I have to say. A lot of people misunderstand the way makeup is nowadays, where people do wear a lot of makeup and they use a lot of makeup because it has become a hobby for some people. People really do respect the artistry that goes into makeup artistry, right? And on the other hand, yes, there is that horrible side that's like, you need to do this to be better. You need to do this to be better. Makeup is a hobby. Makeup is a skill. However, it's not cosmetic surgery, and you don't need cosmetic surgery if you don't want it. So despite the backlash they've been getting and receiving, the owner Maureen still seems to think she's actually really good at internet stuff.
Snatch hasn't launched yet, but it's gone viral already because of this. Let me break it down for you so you can copy it for your brand. First, make a teaser that's going to stop you in your feed. We are talking cheap and cheerful. Next, you want to get it into the influencers and...
Why is she doing that to her nose?
Case makeup artists in your industry. We partnered with Alexis Oakley and Queen Skin Club, and it was love at first snatch.
Why has she done that to her nose?
Send it to your most loyal 50 customers before anyone else. And finally, you need to do a...
Okay, can I just say something? As a professional makeup artist, Maureen, if you're trying to make your nose look snatched, you've just closed it up here by doing lines like this. That's if you're gonna talk about contour and be like, get a nose job, at least learn how to do a contour that suggests you're doing it properly. You know, at least suggests you're doing it properly.
Easy PR delivery. We are showing up to influencers' houses in a glambulance. Like, yes, an actual glambulance. And they're gonna get a consultation by Dr. Snatch, which is
A vagina.
Alexis Oakley, Faces by Danny, and Lex Smith. Our creative strategy is to own the plastic surgeon in a stick positioning. Every concept turns the idea of skipping the needles into a viral moment that immediately communicates the product.
But anything you do with a needle doesn't lift your face. So filler, yes, sometimes, but a lot of what we're suggesting is a facelift. Again, there's a lot of stuff that they're talking about which contour won't do, that needles don't do. Knives do it though.
Benefit in a very fun, shareable way. Can't wait to see how you share my playbook.
What the fuck is a playbook? One thing that I think I hate that brands do now is this whole like, we've gone viral thing. It's like, okay, for how long? A week? 2 weeks? Great, good for you, good for your whole brand. 2-week virality. It's like she lives in this bubble where no one is capable of bad ideas. I think this was deliberate though. I think it was deliberately done to receive some backlash, as they have done with a lot of their things in the past as well. Her post about it has 720 likes, and I think half of them might be people involved in the brand and or on payroll. Well, another thing I found really interesting is the makeup artist. Did I see this in Jen Love's video? The makeup artist who did the masterclass was like, I love this contour product. It's my first time using it and I love it. So you didn't send it out to her before so she can actually use it and see how, you know, what she thinks of it. So yes, of course, Tarte did a campaign around contour sticks that replaces plastic surgery and accidentally called a bunch of their fans ugly, and the owner thinks she's a genius for it. Fact is, people do get these things and will think, oh, maybe I do need a nose job. Maybe they do think my nose looks too big. Maybe that's just fact because it's happened, right? We can't argue that. It is just fact. Let me know your opinions on this down below. What is your favorite campaign that you've seen recently from a brand? Let's end this on a nice one. What stood out to you from a brand that made you think, yes, I'm actually going to buy it? And what made you think also, oh no, I'm never going to use that brand again? Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me. Consider subscribing, and I will see you very, very soon.